There comes a moment in life where everything you've been through starts to make sense. Not all at once, not perfectly, but piece by piece. The long nights, the quiet prayers, the times you had to keep going, even when nobody was watching. This is for the ones who kept showing up anyway, for the ones who felt lost but never stayed there, for the ones who are still becoming, still evolving, still learning themselves in real time. Because growth doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like breaking. Sometimes it feels like doubt. Sometimes it sounds like silence. But even in that, you're being shaped. There is a version of you that your current self had to fight to become. And every decision, every setback, every lesson, it's all leading somewhere. So take a breath. You're not behind, you're not too late, and you're not done. This is your reminder that everything you've been building in the dark is getting ready to meet the light. Welcome to the journey. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another vlog on my YouTube channel. Recently just got started. Super excited to bring you guys along on this journey. I've been contemplating for a long time. It's been on my heart, been on my mind, and I'm finally doing it. I'm doing it at my pace. I'm taking my time, but I'm finally getting the message out there. And this video basically would be just about who I am, right? Why should you guys come to this channel, and the reason why I'm doing this. For a long time, I was never a fan of like creating content. I'm a person where like I don't really like attention. Obviously, if it's for the right reasons, if I'm, pouring into people or doing a good thing in society, of course, market that. But other than that, I don't really like to be in the spotlight. But just throughout my journey, throughout my life, and just, navigating, right? I've learned that this is my purpose, and I have a passion for it, and it's to encourage and inspire everyone to be the best versions of themselves, and it's to just give, whether that's wisdom, my time, words of affirmation, and just insight, right? And I got a story to tell. I got a testimony. I have a message that I want to share with you guys, and here I am. I'm doing it. I'm learning as I go. I'm growing as I do it, and I'm definitely out of my comfort zone. I am definitely out of my comfort zone. Let me repeat that. This is not comfortable for me, but I'm showing y'all that. I'm showing y'all that side, and I want y'all to be a part of it, because I know where this can go, and I know where it is going, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I know that it's going to impact many people across this world, all walks of life, and it's going to inspire some folks, and that's all I really want to do. So here I am, another YouTube vlog, and this is titled, Who Am I? So first off, my name is Kyle Lewis. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised. Currently live out in the suburbs called Canton area. Sports guy. Been playing football all my life. Been playing football since I was 7 years old. Was fortunate enough to get all the way to college, and during that time, I learned a lot about myself. True adversity striked, and really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Went to Wayne State University. Had 6 years there because I had injuries, medical red shirt, 2 knee surgeries, right? Freshman year, got on campus, was excited. Obviously, this is my, I took my talents to another level, which is great. It's a blessing. Got there freshman year, we're doing 110s outside, literally summer conditioning, and running 110s. And I just felt the sharp pain go through my knee. Literally, like, I've been hurt before, but I've never had an injury devastating like that. And once that happened, I dropped to the ground. It was a sharp knee pain. Didn't know where it was coming from. And like how as athletes, you're running or whatever, and you kind of just feel like a tweak. But if you just walk it off, run it off, it just goes away. This one lingered. This one didn't go away. It was just still there, and didn't know what it was. Kind of did some rehab on it, and but eventually I had to get an MRI. Got an MRI, and they said I needed surgery. They said the surgery is called microfracture surgery, so it's a bone injury. So my cartilage deteriorated, so it let the bones rub up against each other, right? And so they had to go in, drill the bone, let it bleed out so it could form a new cartilage. Very gruesome, very tough. It's like a 9 to 12 month recovery, and it was tough. And that, like, going in that year, it was a lot going on. I lost my grandfather during that time. I actually lost my grandfather before that. It was literally the day I signed my letter of intent to play and go to Wayne State University. That was tough. And obviously when I got there, I got hurt. And freshman year, I failed a class. I failed a math class. I wasn't able to adjust to the college life, to the college standard, and it was just a lot. It was tough on me. So that first year, and then obviously getting hurt on top of that, you can imagine just what I was going through. And as far as like mental health, and I'm a big advocate for that, during that time, didn't really know what that was. The best thing I knew was just, pushing through, but not necessarily talking about it. So like the things that I'm doing now, I'm speaking on it, right? And obviously, you live and you learn. And as you get older and grow wiser, you kind of learn. And obviously you look back and reflect. And then now what you've learned, you just apply that now and help people, help people through that time so they don't encounter those issues just like you did before. But fast forward, injury, that whole year was just tough, man. Trying to push through, obviously trying to grow, trying to, get used to the college life classes. During that time, I was crutching everywhere. I had my crutches, just trying to get to class, navigate through that. Rehab was intense. But following year, got back right. Fast forward, had a decent year, had an opportunity to play a little bit, kind of get my feet wet. And then the following year after that was really like supposed to be like the breakout year. And I was in practice. I remember during kick return, I was like on the second, third line, going back and just going through the blocking techniques, blocking phases, right? And I did that. This is on air, mind you. No contact, nobody hit me, none of that. I did that, went back, and I dropped again. But the thing is, the first time my injury was in my right knee. This time was in my left knee. And the crazy thing is, I instantly knew what it was, and I instantly started crying. I was just bawling in tears. I was angry, and I was frustrated because I felt that same pain, and it came back again. Obviously got an MRI. They showed the pictures and they put them together, and they were like, it's literally the same thing. And I'm just like, what is going on? I've never encountered a gruesome injury like this. Why now? Went through that. That was like, I almost was, I just was like, I don't know if I should be playing anymore. Fast forward, obviously I went through that, did that injury. And it was tough. Like, it was tough. Just going through that, waking up every day, choosing to go to rehab, not being able to walk, and then obviously leaning on people to help you because you can't do all the things that you normally do yourself, and it's for a long period of time. And it was depressing. It was frustrating. I was definitely upset because as a competitor, I'm missing my opportunity to showcase my talent, to showcase why Wayne State brought me here to play. And obviously my position was a wide receiver, and then I was also a kick returner, right? But coming out of high school, I was an athlete, played quarterback my senior year, literally played every position, played defense, but I had the love for offense. Having the ball in my hands, making a play, scoring touchdowns. I love the the position of a playing wide receiver, catching the ball, making something happen, running routes, being technical, and being hurt again, not being able to showcase that talent. I don't know. I was just not there. I was kind of losing it. Fast forward, following year, did well, got honorable mention from doing kick return, so that was good. And then the following year, and that's the thing, I had to kind of do like load management. That's not normally me. I'm usually durable. I'm usually the athlete, the player that can go out there and play and be in shape. But my situation was different because it's the bone and it's the constant running, cutting, jumping, stopping on a dime. As a receiver, you got to be able to cut at any moment. And that was constantly that was, a lot on my knees. So I had to kind of manage, and I didn't like that, but obviously this was the plan, and it was communicated to the coaching staff and the medical staff. But for me as a competitor, I'm just like, So just imagine being in my head and then having these injuries where nobody was around me. Football is a physical sport. Nobody was around me. I didn't get hit. You know what I mean? So like just being conscious of that, and I've never been afraid of contact, but knowing that at any moment I can instantly drop. I can instantly become hurt again. So that psychological battle, I had to go through that. I had to figure that out. It was tough. I had to push through it, right? And obviously, and I had the support of the medical staff. I had the support of my teammates, my coaches, my family. Obviously, first and foremost, God. And during that time, I just trying to push through. But going towards like my last year. So last year, 2019, I obviously had a decent year. Not the best year that I wanted because obviously I wasn't as available, but I was able to still get some playing time. At this point, the league is not really in my future. I'm not really thinking about it as much. I've been through injuries, and the best thing for the pros is availability. Obviously, your talent and what you can do on the field, but being available. Injury history, and mine was pretty shot. So, but fast forward. But also, let me slow down for a minute. For education-wise, I came in as kinesiology major. So thinking that I wanted to do athletic training or anything in the medical field, right? That was also a part of a big struggle of mine. But during the time where I switched, the new major came in. This is when I was overcoming the second injury, sports management. I've always loved sports. So when that came about, I literally switched to that and was flourishing ever since because my GPA was not as good because I was struggling. But obviously finished that 2019 year, that's going into my last year. I was able to green my GPA from 2.64 to a 3.0. But I just had to throw that in there. I didn't even mention that. But yeah, finally found a passion as far as what to do after school. 2019, last year. But then I had an extra year of eligibility because I was hurt. And so I came back. But I was doing summer workouts and felt the pain again. And it was the same thing, but I caught it early this time. So I went to the medical training staff, and they were like, hey, these are your options. We can go through it, but it's going to be kind of similar to what you had to do before, load management. But if you're hurt again, the surgery may not be the same. They were talking about potentially knee replacements. And I'm 24 at the time. So knee replacements is not really until you get older in your older years. So just doing that at that age, I was just wow, a knee replacement at 24. I'm young, healthy. It's kind of insane, right? And he basically was telling me that you may want to consider not playing. And at this point, I know I'm not going to the league. I know I'm not about to, I just wanted to finish out the way I wanted to. And, with the pride and being that leader. I was the oldest man in the room. I say man, right? That's funny because I was a grown man, but I was the oldest guy in the room, and I just wanted to finish it off strong. So that COVID year, it was 2020. It was supposed to have a season, but that was canceled. And that whole year was just crazy. Just not knowing that we were going to be able to play football or even have that extra year. But gratefully, thankfully, we was able to get it. So I came back that last year. A lot of people didn't come back because of COVID, but I decided to stick around. So because I just was still trying to figure it out, do that. But obviously figuring it out, finding out that I couldn't really do anything. So I told my coach what was going on, but I just wanted to still be a part of the team and be an asset anywhere I can. So the opportunity was presented to me to be a coach, to be assistant coach. So I was the assistant receivers coach that year to my wide receivers coach. And honestly, that was the best year. And this is where I really kind of found who I was and that I had real impact. That year was tough. That was not the best year. So just imagine a lot of the things going on inside the locker room and people not really being on the best sides of one another, right? So do that year was great, even though it was ups and downs, being an asset, being an old guy in the room, being a veteran, helping them get through their trials and tribulations, whatever they were going through, and being appreciated in a way I've never seen before, of how the conversations with me and me sharing my story and how I got through my adversity helped them in many ways. And they've always looked at me and how I move and how I carry myself. And that meant the world to me. And then the coaches showing their appreciation especially my wide receivers coach, shout out to Coach Callie, and of how I just made an impact. And he was so grateful that I was there. And I've done more than he could have ever imagined. Man, I remember the last game we were at Ferris State, and that was just the last game of the season. And he told me those things, and I just knew that was the last game. That was the last time I'll be, in that stage anymore. Traveling, getting on the bus, preparing for games, locking in with my teammates, getting riled up, having fun, ready to go. And it was a surreal moment, and I was literally in tears where everybody saw it. But that year was the best. I learned a lot for myself, and I was encouraged, and I was inspired for the next chapter. So I thought. But fast forward, there is a real thing. I know my athletes know this, and this is for everybody. It's a real thing where you've done something for so long, and now it's no longer there. Now you have to move forward and do something else. So for us, for athletes, I've been playing football since I was 7 years old. So coming into realization that football was no longer there, waking up at 6 a.m., having a routine, really going out there and achieving a goal, right? Individual goals and the shared goals from the team. It's gone. So I went into deep depression. I was sad, I was hurting. And then that year was so tough. I didn't have a job lined up after school. Both of my grandmothers passed away in that same year. My grandmother on my dad's side passed. She just got up there in age and had to do hospice, and just was health declining. So that happened first. And then my other grandmother on my mother's side, she passed away, but it was sudden. It was quick, it was unexpected, and it was devastating. But just that whole year, lost relationships, doing a job that I didn't want to do, not really knowing I literally lost myself. I was hurting, I was in pain, physical pain, emotional pain. My body wasn't the best. I fell out of love with working out, and I've loved working out. Didn't do that for months. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. couldn't really talk, didn't want to leave my house. It was so bad to the point where, like, if I saw sunlight, that made me depressed. Like, I didn't want to see the sunlight. I wanted to just be in the dark, and I was. And like that whole year, man, it was just tough, super tough. And this was, I would say, that year was the pivotal moment, along with like the years after that, were like the pivotal moments. I would say like the 2021 to 2023 was the pivotal moment of me, like, being at this point, really like stepping out my comfort zone and sharing content and wanting to share my story. I was able to overcome that. It was tough. It was not easy. I was in a dark place. I found my way back to God. I found my way back to having faith. And I've always believed in God, but I didn't have that personal relationship that I needed to with Him as much as I should. And that's where I gave my life to Christ in 2023. And it was the best. It was the best thing in the world. I literally was able to get back grounded, to figure things out, to have a relationship with Him, and to be back on His path and His grace, and to just push through. So it was a beautiful thing, and getting back right with Him has brought me here and has made me realize that I have a story to share. I have a story to tell. I have a testimony. And this is why I'm creating content. This is why I'm creating my YouTube, to share my story, to help people, and to inspire folks to be the best versions of themselves, and to be authentic, to be transparent. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning as I go. I'm not there yet, but I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for the family and friends that I have, and the network that I have, and where I'm at personally and career-wise. That, you know, I'm still, because life is a lifelong commitment. It's ups and downs. You gotta be willing to figure it out. You gotta be willing to push through. And everything is not perfect, but if you just put your best foot forward, you figure things out. And I want to take you guys on that journey with me. I want to show you the highs, the lows. I want to be transparent. I want to share things that I don't normally share, because I know there are people out there going through the same things that I'm going through, and my message can really help somebody, and showing them that, hey, you're right where you're supposed to be. You're gonna get there, and we're doing this together. So this is me. This is who I am. I'm a child of God. I'm a genuine soul who wants the best for everybody, who gets excited to see people do great, to be a man in this world, to provide and to help in the society, and to be a positive light, because there's a lot of things going on in this world, and I just want to shed light. And I have a platform that I've created called Lose Light. It's where I have random quotes that I pull out and I reflect on them, and just sharing positive messages, positive moments. And this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm here, showcasing my personality. I'm obviously out of my comfort zone, but, you know, just kind of putting myself out there, really trying to help people, really trying to grow and figure life out. So I'm doing that, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey. I'm excited to bring you guys, to shed light on it, and to just continue to share my story and the things that I've learned and I grow from. So with that being said, this is another vlog. This is who I am, and obviously, you know, there's a lot more things to come. So super excited about that. Yeah. So I know it was a lot, but obviously I'll continue to express who I am and to continue to share things. So if you made it to the end of this video, appreciate y'all. It's a summary. I could have went on and on, but you guys will get to know me more as I continue to put videos out, and I'll just continue to share things, shed light on certain things, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna grow together, and we're gonna We're gonna be the best versions of ourselves. We're gonna push one another, and we're gonna flourish. So, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and share, and stay tuned. I got more videos coming, and we're just gonna keep it moving and keep moving forward. Cool, cool, cool. I'ma just relax and enjoy this moment and enjoy this scenery, and we're gonna keep it going. Appreciate y'all. Peace.